Now, carrying on from that story, we're going to be chatting to Mark Haskins about the semi-finalists that will be playing Brazil, Germany, Netherlands and Argentina, and the notable exclusions because of either suspensions from double yellow cards or injuries. But here's Mark Haskins. Before I go any further, Saya, good morning.
Morning, Kendall.
Mark, we're looking forward to some really good games over the next 2 days.
Yeah, these are definitely the matchups we've gotten in the semi-finals. We're coming into the tournament. These are dream matchups. I think this is kind of what the organizers would have wanted going into the semi-finals.
Right now, having said that, I mean, there are quite a lot of people that made a lot of noise about the Brazilians and how they've lost out on Neymar and Thiago Silva. Let's start with Neymar. Like you heard in the package before, it really was a case of a very tough, a rough and tough match that turned into a bit of a war. There were casualties. And this is my take on it. And the casualties, one of them was Neymar.
Yeah, I think Brazil coming into the quarterfinal game against Colombia knew that they're going to have to disrupt Colombia's play, because Colombia have looked really solid in their previous games, the way they were knocking the balls around and that kind of thing. So the Brazil needed to disrupt that, and the only way to do that was to rough them up a bit. And obviously they paid the higher price for the game plan that they came in with. Now they've lost their talisman. Neymar, who's going to be an extremely huge blow for them, because he's been the only player that's looked likely to get goals in every single game they've played. Everyone else hasn't really factored in terms of goal scoring. And so their main goal-scoring threat, Neymar, is out of the World Cup, and that's a big, big blow for Brazil.
Mark, with that said, though, Hulk did have 1 or 2 shots on target that pulled saves out of Keylor Navas, the Colombian goalkeeper.
The good thing for Brazil is that Hulk has gotten better as the tournament has progressed. When the tournament started, he didn't play all that well, and then he actually got dropped in a subsequent game. But his form has increased and he's improved as the tournament has progressed, and that's going to be key for Brazil. They're going to hope that he improves even more going into the semi-final, because you're going to need the guys like Hulk, Oscar, all these other guys to really stand up and show that they can play without Neymar.
All right, interesting. Now, let's have a look at Thiago Silva, their captain, the guy at the heart of Brazil's defense. His second yellow card, we touched on this a couple of programs ago, where we spoke about why it is that this guy went and disrupted Navas as he was about to distribute the ball deep infield and picked up his second yellow card. Some people say, Mark, that he deserved it because it was unnecessary, and you of the thought that he might have seen something that nobody else could see at the time.
It's difficult to call, because the pictures don't give us a full view of the field, and so we don't know exactly what was going on. But I know that as a leader, as a captain, he wouldn't just do that without having seen something that we weren't privy to. Obviously, he had spotted some danger, because you could see the goalkeeper shaping to launch a quick counter-attack. And that's why he got in his way, because he saw imminent danger that he felt he needed to avert. And so I think it's a yellow card he felt he had to take for the team. At that point, they were leading, and Brazil haven't been performing that well. And so they wanted to win by any means necessary. Unfortunately, the means in this case was Thiago Silva taking a yellow card and being suspended now for their semi-final match.
With that said, Mark, I mean, Thiago Silva being at the heart of their defense, because this is not necessarily the best attacking team that Brazil has ever had. Their midfield is not the strongest ever. Their defense has really been their rock-solid part, isn't it?
Many people might not agree with me in saying this, but I believe that Thiago Silva is probably a bigger blow than Neymar is. Like you say, their defense is what's carried them through. The grit and determination that they've shown to get to this point, because they've not been the classical Brazilian attacking team that we've come to know in past years. That's why their defense has had to be resolute, and he's been the backbone of that. As the leader, as the captain, he's really carried them this far. And so for me, he's going to be an extremely huge blow. That's why the Brazilian FA, they're trying to get FIFA to rescind the yellow card, which I don't see happening. So he's going to be...
Look, it has happened once before. 1962, Garanchi, they got a yellow card. FIFA allowed him to come and play in the final. It has happened, but it's pretty much in the last 20, 30 years, it's been unprecedented.
No, it would be unfair for them to do that, because it was a legitimate yellow card. If you got the yellow card and it was, there was a discrepancy concerning the yellow card, then they could try to rescind it. But it was a legitimate yellow card. He deserved the yellow card. He knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah. It's like we can say he took one for the team. Yeah. And so he knew the consequences thereof, and they can't allow it to be rescinded.
So literally what's going to happen for these two, I think pundits are talking about Willian coming in on Neymar's part, as well as possibly Dante coming in for that.
Yeah, the replacement for Neymar, there's no replacement for Neymar. One thing has to be said. Obviously, the likes of Willian are on the bench. There's Bernard. They can shuffle it around a bit, but they won't really get a like-for-like replacement. Dante will come in for Thiago Silva most likely, and he can play. He is a good center. The only difference is the leadership ability because Thiago Silva is their captain. The good thing with Dante, though, is that he plays for Bayern Munich, so he knows the German team quite well, and that might count in his favor because these are his teammates at club level, so that might aid his cause. But it might also work against him because they know him just as well, so they know his strengths and weaknesses. So it remains to be seen exactly how they'll go, but Dante will probably be the likely replacement for Thiago Silva.
Let's touch on Argentina and see what's happening there. Angel Di Maria pulled up with a thigh strain in the 33rd minute of the game against Belgium. Angel Di Maria was looking extremely potent, very strong runner, worked very hard, both sides of the field. Amazing player, and now they've lost this man, and I believe that we're still waiting for the technical team, the medical team from Argentina to say whether the thigh strain rules him out of the Belgium match altogether and altogether for the tournament. Big loss.
For Di Maria, I think they've said that the Netherlands game, he won't be there. He's pretty much for the semi-final. Whether he'll be available for the final or not is the question. They're trying to get him ready should Argentina advance. But also there is the losers final to play as well. So, but I think they've come out and said he'll definitely not be ready by Wednesday. But they're hoping by the weekend he'll be ready. But he is again a massive blow for Argentina because next to Messi, he's looked the most exciting player. No one else really looked like scoring until Higuain did because it was just him and Messi, all the attacks through him and Messi. And it remains to be seen what they're going to do. The good thing for Argentina, though, is that Agüero is looking fit again. He was at training yesterday. He's supposed to be looking really sharp.
Mark, so before we even go about him being at training, I saw a photograph, in fact, a video of Sergio Agüero in the dressing room, the Argentinian dressing room, prancing around, singing a song, celebrating the win against Belgium. It didn't look like he was unfit at all. So I'm very happy to see that they've come out and put him on a pitch and put him in training shoes, you know?
Trust me, when you're celebrating a quarterfinal win, going into the semi-final, their first time since, I think, 1990.
That's correct.
So, I mean, there was a lot to celebrate, and at that point, you don't feel any injuries, trust me. But yeah, he's looking sharp again, and they're going to need a guy like Agüero to come through. He hasn't shown his best form in this tournament, and if he does get a chance, I'm sure he's going to want to prove his worth and show why he is one of the best strikers in the world.
Higuain as well seems to be like slowly getting into form and getting dangerous again.
Higuain initially was not looking match fit because he does come off an injury, but against Belgium he showed that, you know, as he gets game time, he does improve.
Right, now, see, we're being rushed here. We're going to be showing you photographs of the Dutch and see what's happening there. Nigel de Jong, groin strain, that's pretty serious. I mean, it takes a long time for that to heal, and this guy's been phenomenal for the Dutch.
And the difficulty with a any groin injury needs rest. You can't do much with a groin injury. You literally just have to sit out and let it heal itself. And so he was a massive blow for the Dutch. He held their midfield together. He kept the shape within the spine there. And so he's a big blow for them. And against a team like Germany, who are very good in the midfield, I mean, well, they're playing Argentina. But going forward into games with, like, Argentina have a good midfield.
This man just made a prediction. This man reckons that the World Cup final is going to be between the Netherlands and Germany. No way, Mark. I'm not taking that one.
I do actually believe that. I do actually believe that. But they're going to miss him in the midfield. The teams they are likely to meet, Argentina in the midfield. Obviously, the likes of Messi, that's where he comes through from deep in the midfield. And a guy like Nigel de Jong would be needed there. I mean, we've seen the tackles he puts in. He's really solid in the tackle, and that's going to be missing. And that's going to be a huge blow for them. So they haven't really replaced him. I don't think Wijnaldum is quite the same player as de Jong. But we'll see what happens.
So, Mark, here's a question for you. Now that we've spoken about Nigel de Jong. You reckon that this particular final in South America is going to be between Germany and the Netherlands?
I believe I don't see Brazil overcoming Germany, especially with the casualties they have. Germany have just looked too good. And then on the side of Argentina, a guy like Di Maria has been key for them. I think Netherlands are more of a solid team, a unit, and I think that's going to count and that's going to make the difference in the end. So I do believe for the first time we're going to have a European team winning the World Cup on South American soil.
I wonder when you're going to say that. I'm glad you're saying it today, because we then can like hold you to it come the end of Wednesday when we know who's going to be in the final.
I'll definitely put my head on the block with that
All
one.
right, well, staying on that form, like with regards to the Dutch, Ron Vlaar, defender, really good defender, he's been out for a while. And in fact, do we know whether he's coming back in or not, or he's totally out for the entire tournament?
No, I mean, he's shrugged off the injury. He seems to be okay. He got through 120 minutes against Costa Rica, so obviously he may have just tweaked the injury a bit, but he's got a few days to recover, and I'm sure they'll let him rest for quite a while. But he's big for them in the center of their defense, so they'll definitely be hoping he recovers in time.
All right, now with that said, now with the German team, we know that prior to their match over the weekend, there were flu-like symptoms that were travailing through their team camp. 7 players had flu-like symptoms. Matt Hummels at some point was a bit feverish, but they seem to be fine. They seem to be okay. No injuries, no yellow card suspensions.
Yeah, going into the semi-final, the Germans are in the best shape because they've got a full squad to choose from. And so definitely on the part of the German team, they look like they have a clean bill of health. The only concern, obviously, like you say, are the flu-like symptoms going around the team. It's obviously because of the traveling between the different regions within Brazil, different climates, different kind of conditions, and maybe they've picked up a few ailments there. But Germany looked the most solid, obviously, coming into the semi-final games, and that should aid their cause.
Oh, phenomenal. Well, Mark, we really are looking forward to these matches. The first one is the Tuesday one. We've got Brazil, Germany. Then on Wednesday, as you all know, we've got the Netherlands against Argentina. And our man here reckons he's got it down pat. I will be so holding you to it, Mark. And I need to make you do something. Cut your hair off, shave your beard or something like that.
We'll see closer to the time.
Alrighty. Now, that was Mark Haskins giving us a lowdown on the notable players who would be missed in these upcoming semi-finals. We will be previewing these semi-finals tomorrow morning with Mark Haskins talking about the Brazil-Germany one.